I came from a really good family. I'm one of those people who, if addiction is linked to some sort of pathology in the family, I shouldn't be that guy. But for some reason, from a really young age, I was profoundly filled with anxiety. And I was really worried about everyone. And every time I would hear about some problem in the world, that problem touched me a little too closely. And I'll never forget the first time I snorted heroin, everything changed. It was like a huge exhalation left my body. And all the stress and all the fear and all the things that I was worried about just sort of washed out of me. You know, and I came up in that just say no generation where people were saying drugs are dangerous. And I had done cocaine, I'd smoked a bunch of weed, and I tried LSD, and I dropped a lot of mushrooms, and none of these drugs seemed to me to be as dangerous as the propaganda was trying to communicate. So I assumed, when the heroin was there, that this was just another drug that the government was trying to keep me away from. By the time my addiction brought me to the criminal justice system, I'd lost my car, I'd lost my job, I was homeless, I'd lost all my friends, I'd lost the respect of my family, I'd lost my self-respect. I mean, I had nothing. I had been, at that point, through 4 different rehabilitation programs. I'd locked myself in rooms and gone through 7 or 10 days of withdrawals and come out ready to go with the world. And every time, no matter what I did, even when I picked myself up and moved myself to a new city to get away from heroin, I always ended up going back to it. Remember, I was put in the Denver City Jail, and eventually a public defender, an attorney, came in and he sat down with me and he said, "We're offering you something called drug court. These days they're starting to be called therapeutic courts or treatment courts." And they came about because people in the criminal justice system started to realize that addicts they were telling not to use drugs, and addicts they were giving second chances to, were coming back into the system over and over and over again, and eventually were being thrown into prison by judges who didn't necessarily feel like they should be there. And the idea was this: we're gonna bring people in the criminal justice system and we're gonna require them to get treatment. And we're gonna try to be understanding of addiction in an intelligent way. First of all, they understood the fact that I was gonna relapse. And so when I relapsed, there would be a sanction for it, and there would be a treatment response for it, but they put me back on probation. There wasn't this constant threat of prison. And I had a judge who would see me every couple of weeks. He made it very clear that he believed in me, and he expected me to get through this program. Additionally, maybe most importantly, they allowed me to do methadone. Methadone, for those of you who don't know, is an opiate, an opioid, synthetic opiate. It allows addicts to forget about heroin for a little while so they can concentrate on treatment. The other really important thing you should know about methadone is it makes the individual much less likely to die of an overdose. But methadone, the structure of methadone and treatment in conjunction with methadone and the pressure that was put on me by the court allowed me to start to put pieces of my life back together. So what I want to say is, opioids are not the problem. Opioids are a problem, undoubtedly. But what we have in this country at this point is an addiction epidemic. Being a drug court magistrate now, I have addicts parade in front of me all day, and I've seen many of them, many get clean and say, "I believe I can do this on my own." And it is so rare. But the ones who will lean on medication-assisted treatments are the ones who seem to be able to walk away from their addiction most successfully.